Hey, good morning, everyone. I hope this is
morning
working.
Here. It's like afternoon or
Konnichiwa. How's that?
it's 9 o'clock in the morning for us. Yeah.
It might be different time where you're tuning in from.
I expect so. Yes.
All right.
But good to see so many of you here.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What do you got going on? Oh, Michael, has it really been 6 years? It's been longer than that.
It's been a lot longer than that.
Okay. And Liz from Ohio.
We started this show in 2014. Another way to get to your all apps, if you have this 9-dot grid showing that, but once again, not everybody has that. 9-dot grid, that takes you to the same place and you can search. So that is my quick tip, searching for apps. I use it all the time because I have so many apps, I can never find anything except for what's on my first home screen.
I can never find anything at all. What are you talking about? Looks like we might be buffering a little bit. I just changed internet, so we'll see how that goes. Well, hi everyone, I'm Jim, and here together with my wife Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about this technology or the traveling that we're doing here? And how do you get answers to those questions?
Well, we are geeks but we've been in technology training and support for a long time.
Since 83.
83.
At least.
Yeah. But we've been doing this since 2004. What we say is we teach travelers how to make better use of their technology since 2004. And it's all collected on our website, geeksontour.com.
Okay. Let's see how that's working. So, where are we now, Chris?
Where are we? Amami?
It's in southern Japan, and it's quite a ways down, and it's really warm here, so it's pretty cool. We've been doing some neat stuff, and we're headed to Taiwan soon, and we will be joined by one of our folks here, and she's flying in from Southern California, right? Oh, there we go. This afternoon. And she'll be flying to Taipei, Taiwan on Thursday. Wash your hands. It's warm in other places too, but it got up to, feels like 111 yesterday here.
That wasn't the actual temperature. That was
feels like.
But the actual temperature was in the 90s.
Oh yeah,
right?
It was in the 90s to get that hot, and it's humid too. So
I had no idea. This is the beauty of travel. I had no idea that Japan, at least southern Japan, is a tropical climate. I picture Japan is way up north, but it's not so far north. And people went snorkeling, and there's scuba diving here. We might do a little bit of snorkeling in our next stop, which is Okinawa.
Right, I'm looking forward to that. The water here is very clear. It's nice.
Very clear.
Right by the ship.
But probably the most interesting, or my favorite day so far, was near Hiroshima. Now, we did not go to the war museums in Hiroshima. We did in Nagasaki. When we were in Hiroshima, we went to an island called Miyajima. and Jim has a little video on that. Now, if you've ever been to Japan, you may have seen some of that. So it's not so unique what we were able to see, but the way we were able to see it. We woke up that morning, I remember that morning, we had no plans, but we just, got out of bed, said, we don't have to do work today. Let's go somewhere. And we just got off the ship and somebody said, oh, you can take a ferry over to this island. We said, that sounds good. So it was just part of our normal day that we got to see stuff like that.
Isn't it cool?
because we live on this world cruising cruise ship.
All right.
Okay, so we're ready for teaching?
I'm ready for learning. How's that? Okay, here you go.
So these are the things we're going to cover today. We're back to basics today. Seems like we'd been a while since we did that. So we're going to cover copy and paste, organizing icons on your home screen. Oh, no, we're not going to do the share a photo. Why is your screen going dark so fast? Reboot phone, using quick settings. We'll have a recorded video about the sharing the photo. Now, we have done this before. In fact, we did a whole series of 4 shows all about basics. So if this is the kind of stuff you need to learn, I really recommend you go back and watch these episodes, 256, 61, 75, and 78. And I want to show you, in case you don't know, how you find them. You just go to our website, geeksontour.com. And it's under YouTube shows. What does this button do? And all 307 right now are listed there. So you just go back till you see the 265, find those numbers. So 261 was Smartphone Basics Part 2, etc. Smartphone Basics 1 was episode 256. And just to prove to you, all the episodes, I change the formatting occasionally, but we go all the way back to episode number 1.
All the way back.
It just keeps going and going and going. And you know how to search a page, right? If you're looking for something in this page, so there's episode 1, June 2014. And if you wanted to search for Siri, you would Control F and type Siri. And it would show you there's 1 and there's 2. So, geeksontour.com, YouTube shows, the entire archive is there. And if you are a premium member, you get show notes as well. Anybody can watch the video, it's a YouTube video, but show notes. And just a word about learning smartphones. Please don't just write down the steps, because the steps will change, and especially the screenshots of exactly where to click will change. For example, in Google Photos in 2020, if you wanted to find an album, there was an album button at the bottom of the screen. In 2023, the album button went away, but albums were still there. You had to find them under the library button. And now the library button is gone, but there's this thing called collections, and you'll find albums under there. So make sure to pay attention to the concepts. Know that most all features of apps stay there. They rarely get rid of a feature, but they sure change the menus and the way to get to features often. So pay attention to the concepts, not just the steps. Copy and paste. This is something that I think everybody should know how to do on their phone. So in case you don't, here's a little video.
Which one?
Copy and paste.
Ah.
Copy and paste. This is something we do all the time on the computer, right? But how do you do it on the phone? Well, it actually works exactly the same. I'm so excited about this. It works exactly the same on an Android and on the iOS. So I'm just going to show you on my Android because it's a little bit bigger screen. Let's say I'm starting an email and I want to go get some text that's on the Geeks on Tour website. I want to copy it from the Geeks on Tour website and paste it here. So I have a email being composed. I go home and find the Geeks on Tour, and the paragraph I want is on reasons to become a member. So it's this first paragraph here I want to copy. The key, I mean, I can't do a Control-C, right? And I can't do a right click. There is no such thing. What I can do is a long press. Long press is kind of like a right click. It selects one word and gives me these two little handles. So I'll drag the handles to the beginning and end of what I want to copy. The word copy has popped up at the top. I tap on copy. Now I go back to my email. What's the best way to do that? The recent apps button, and there's my email. Now what do you think I do? I can't right click, so what can I do? Long press. Long press, and there is paste. So I have copied the paragraph of text from a web page and pasted it into an email. Copy and paste. I had occasion to do that even just earlier this morning. I needed to send somebody a link to a map location, and I realized it was slightly different from what is shown in that video, so I want to show you that. So I'm on Google Maps and I am looking at a location. This actually was a drugstore that we found yesterday in town of Amami, and I want to send this location to my friend. Well, I don't want to touch and hold on the name of it. What you do is you tap the share and then copy is one of the options. This little 2 overlapping squares means copy. So to copy that address, I just tap there. Then I go to an email and I want to paste. Now paste is the same way. You touch and hold the long press. Now if paste doesn't show up in the initial list of choices, you can tap the 3 dots and there is paste. So different systems might give you a way to easily copy without selecting. Okay, so that was copy in and paste. Now, this is such an age-old question, but people still ask it all the time. What is the cloud? Well, the cloud, I use the term generically. The cloud just means it's out there somewhere. It's not on my device, it's somewhere else. It's on the internet, on the web, it's online. That is the cloud. But then there are specific, you don't put things into just the cloud. You put things into your account with your username and password. So you might have an Apple account that takes you to iCloud. If you use Google Photos, that is the cloud photo service by Google. Microsoft's is called OneDrive. Samsung is Samsung Cloud. And then there's Verizon, which I don't know how they get away with this. They just call theirs cloud. But so how does it work? So what we're talking about, I like to give a little visual. So think of Google Photos as in the cloud. It's up there. Or if you're using Apple Photos, then iCloud is up there. I want to demonstrate with photos about uploading to the cloud. So with Google Photos, first of all, I have mine set to constantly upload to the, whenever I take a picture, it is automatically backing up, uploading to the cloud. I'm going to turn that off right now just to make it more clear. So I just tap on my account button at the top. Where it says backup complete, I tap there. Backup is on. If I turn it off, now when I take pictures, they're just going to be on my phone. They won't be automatically uploaded. So I'm going to take 3 pictures. First, I'll just take a selfie. Do I want? And there we go.
Timer's on. That's a good idea, though, with selfies.
Yeah, timers are good unless you're not expecting it to be counting down. Okay. And now I want just a picture of Jim. I'll just take a picture of Jim with his green screen behind. Oh, okay. Okay. And then I want Jim with a picture with Penny. Okay. This is our mascot pelican, if you will. So there's Jim with Penny. Where are those pictures?
They're on the phone.
They're on my phone. What if my phone goes overboard right now?
You've lost those pictures, haven't you?
I have lost those pictures. But I've turned backup off intentionally. Let's say that I don't want to be using the data, the bandwidth it takes to upload all my pictures, but I do want to look. So now let me show you. Whoa.
Blurry.
Yeah. So if I go to Google Photos, I will see those photos. And let's say, well, I mean, they're all nice, but it's really just this one of Jim and Penny that I think is important enough to upload to the cloud. I tap it, and there is this option to back up now. If I tap that, now what's happening? It's it's sending a copy of that picture to the Google Photos cloud. So now now if I drop my phone overboard, I'm okay. And to prove that to you, I want to show you that on my iPad. So my iPad is connected to the internet, the cloud. And I can show you the photos I go to Google Photos on my iPad, which it still has my account, and I haven't turned on this iPad in a while. Let me...
Getting all your notifications.
Yeah. I should have turned off notifications. So there is the picture of Jim with Penny because I specifically uploaded it. But the picture of the two of us and of just him are not there. They are not in the cloud. Google Photos is showing me the cloud. The Google Cloud. Now, let's say I take a picture with my iPhone, and I think I'll just take a selfie of me with green screen. What will I be able to do with that sometime? Okay, so I just took a picture of me, and my iPhone is set to automatically upload to iCloud, right? So how can I prove that to you? On my computer, now I could show it to you on my iPad as well, but that's kind of obvious. So I want to show you how on my Windows computer I can see that that photo went to iCloud. I just go to a browser and go to iCloud.com. And I am already signed in. When you first go here, you might need to sign in again. And if I click on Photos, and I might need to refresh. So I'm going to click this little circular refresh. And it's still not there. You know, sometimes it does take a minute for these upload things to work. But it should be there. And this is where, you know, going to iCloud.com on a Windows computer. Okay, so it's not working. I need to check my setting, and this is something you might have to do. So I go to my iPhone settings and Photos, and it's way down here under Apps and Photos. And iCloud Photos is on, and my phone is connected to the internet. Wow, this is just taking a lot longer than I'm used to with Google. Anyway, there we go. Okay, so it is there in iCloud in my account. It just took a little longer than I expected. So that is, what is the cloud? It's a place on the internet where you are probably paying for storage space and you can put things up there. Cloud.
Judy says you should tap dance.
Or AI ball.
When those things aren't working.
When those things happen. Okay, so that is cloud. What is the cloud and why do I need it? So that when you lose your phone, you don't lose your stuff.
Jay says sometimes it'll say syncing paused on iPhone if low bandwidth.
Okay. I haven't seen that, but I don't use the iPhone anywhere near as much as I use the Android. And when I do use the iPhone, I still use Google Photos. So don't go to sleep so fast. One is don't go to sleep so fast. What am I talking about? Have you ever been using your phone to maybe compose an email, and you stare off into the distance for a moment to compose your thoughts, and the next time you look back at your phone, it's black. It's gone to sleep. There's a setting for that. And I guarantee you, if your setting is set to go to sleep after 15 seconds of inactivity, you are being annoyed by your phone all the time for it going to sleep so fast. So let's look at that setting. iPhone. Settings. And let me get back out. Okay. And it's under display and brightness because it has to do with the display. The display goes black when it goes to sleep. And in the iPhone, it's called auto lock. So when it goes dark, it's locked. Auto lock. And here, if you have 30 seconds, it is annoying. But if you have 5 minutes or never, then your battery is dying quickly because the more your screen is on, the more battery you use. So either 1 or 2 minutes is what I like to leave it at. And on the Android, very similar, just some different words. I go into settings. It's still under display, oring your settings. There's display, and on the Samsung anyway, the feature is called screen timeout. So if you don't touch the screen for 15 seconds to 10 minutes, it will go black. Once again, I like either 1 or 2 minutes. And hopefully your phone won't be so annoying then. Or it'll be annoying for other reasons. Okay. Next, organizing icons on your home screens. And so I'm going to show you how to remove an icon from a home screen, how to add an icon to a home screen, how to move icons, and how to combine icons into folders. First, on an iPhone, and this is my second iPhone, which I really don't use so much, so it doesn't have too many apps on it. I like demoing with this one because it's not so cluttered. On my very home screen, there's this app for podcasts. Let's say, I don't use podcasts hardly at all. I don't need it on my number 1 home screen. What you do is you touch and hold, long press, touch and stay touching until something pops up. And remove app is one of the choices. Now you say, well, wait a minute. I don't want to get rid of the app altogether. I just want it off my home screen. That's fine. Watch this. Remove app, and then it gives me the choice to just remove from the home screen or to delete the app. I just want to remove from the home screen. Okay, so it's gone. Where is it now? If I didn't actually delete it, that means it's still on the phone. Well, there's this all apps place that if you swipe to the left, going to a rightmost screen, keep going until you get to app library. And there I see the podcast again. Now, if you can't even find it here, if you just touch up at the search, now they're all alphabetical. I like that. And podcast, long press, touch and hold until it, and then just drag over to another home screen. It can be kind of tricky. So there it is. I touch and hold. it's now kind of attached to my finger, and when I bump up against the left of the screen, it will move over to the home screen, and wherever I drop it off is where it will stay. Now, how do we stop them wiggling? You need to go home, which on this little iPhone SE is still pressing that button. On most iPhones these days, it's a swipe up. So that was removing from a home screen, adding to a home screen, and moving from one screen to another. You just touch and hold until it's kind of attached to your finger. You can ignore that menu, and then you just bump up against the edge, move it to whatever home screen you want. Might take a little bit of practice, but that's how it works. Now, making a folder. Oops. I want podcasts and TV, Apple TV, to be grouped together. You just touch and hold on one until it's attached to your finger, and then bump up against the other one, and till you see something happen, and they have now been combined into a folder. Now you can move that whole folder around wherever you want, to another screen, and you can add other things to that folder. Let's say that I want health in that folder. Touch and hold, and bump up against the edge, and now that folder has 3 apps in it. A great way to clean up your cluttered screens is putting apps into folders. So that's the iPhone. Android, very similar. So on here, let's say Messenger. Say I don't use Messenger much, so I'm going to touch and hold until a menu pops up and remove. Notice here I have the choice of remove or uninstall right at the beginning. I just want to remove it. Now, how do I get it back if I change my mind? Well, you go to your All Apps, which is either a swipe up or touching these grids. Find it. That was Messenger. These are in alphabetical order, so I can find Messenger here. And there it is, and I touch and hold, and then add to home. Now that hasn't taken it away from the All Apps. Just want you to realize All Apps will always be there unless you uninstall, but then you can add them to home screens. Now this just added it to a random home screen. I want it on my #1 home screen, and then I want Messenger and Chat together in a folder. Touch and hold, and just move it around. Notice it's attached to my finger. Touch the Chat, and now we have a folder. Give it a name, communications, and check mark. Now we have a folder with 2 apps in it for communications. So that's how you organize, but do as I say, not as I do. I have so many, yeah. One cool thing on the Samsung, I don't know why these icons are on this screen. I must have just been playing. I wanted to remove that whole screen. On the Samsung, I can do that. Touch and hold on a blank area, and it reduces the whole screen to kind of an icon, and there's a trash can. So I can delete the whole home page of that was. Okay.
They're not seeing the whole screen. It's the projector.
Okay.
It's the Ziggy.
Okay. You mean like that, yes. Do we have any questions?
There was one up here, and yeah, Mike says, I find that if I'm in the text app on my Pixel, long pressing on text I want to copy doesn't always bring up the selection tool. He gets emojis instead. So this is going back earlier.
Right, to copy and paste. And I have never seen that, but I don't have a Pixel, and they are a little bit different. Try double tapping. Double tapping can sometimes select a word, but then you have those little handles that you can drag to select what you want. So if long press doesn't work, try double tapping. And or if long press always brings up emojis, that must be a setting in your Pixel somewhere for the long press action.
Yeah, on my Pixel, I don't have that, so not sure. Okay.
Next is rotating your screen video. This tip is about rotating the screen of your phone. You know, it's supposed to rotate the photo when you rotate the screen. Let me show you what I mean. So here is a beautiful photo. I just love these frangipangies.
Yeah.
They're also called something else. I forget. Anyway, I would love to see it take up more of the screen.
Plumeria.
If Plumeria, thank you. If I just rotate the screen, they rotates the photo. Unless the setting isn't set right. So I want to show you that setting. I go into settings. This is on the Samsung. Oh, no, sorry. I don't have to go all the way into settings because this is a quick setting. All you have to do is swipe down from the top, and I see it right there. That is the auto rotate. But if yours doesn't show up on the first line, you can swipe down again, and now you see 3 more lines, and there's even more if you scroll over. There is the auto rotate. If I tap it, it now says portrait, which means it's going to stay in the vertical position. So now if I go back to that photo and I rotate the phone, the photo does not rotate. So if that happens to you, you want it to rotate and it doesn't, you just swipe down from the top, tap the little portrait lock icon. This is on a Samsung. And now it is set to auto rotate and the photo will rotate. Sometimes I have found that even when the setting is correct, it doesn't rotate. And all I've done is kick it. I turn the rotate off and then back on again. And that almost always fixes it. Now on an iPhone, very similar. I'll go to that same photo, and when I rotate the phone and it's being held up vertically, the photo rotates, unless you're setting. Now, there's on this particular phone that has a round home button at the bottom, I get to the quick settings by swiping up from the bottom. And there is the rotate setting. If I tap on it, it now turns red, so it means it's locked. And then I go to the photo, and it will not rotate. So I'm going to turn that back on. I like my phone to rotate most of the time. Sometimes when I'm reading in bed, I don't. So I then turn on the lock. I just want to show you one more thing, that rotating the screen is not just for photos. So let's say I'm reading this emailed newsletter, and on this tiny phone, the newsletter squishes. And if I expand it, then I can't see the left and right. But if I rotate it, now it is much more readable. So that is rotating your phone so that and allowing the contents of the screen to rotate along. And just by the way, the reason I pick these tips is because they are things that people have asked us. You know, my phone's not rotating, how come? But that's not the only quick setting. So I want to spend a couple more minutes on quick settings. And what's cool is Android and iPhone now get to quick settings the same way. On my Android Samsung phone, let me make sure you're seeing the whole thing. There we go. You swipe down from the top, but not anywhere on the top. Notice if I just swipe down from the top, I'm getting my notifications. It's top right. If I swipe down from the top right, I am now getting my quick settings. And there's that rotate one, you know, allowing the screen to rotate. But then there's so much more. Here's airplane mode, meaning turn off my cellular connection so that I don't use my data or I don't use my battery searching for data. I'll put that back on. And then flashlight. I think this is a really important one. If you've never used your flashlight, it could save your life. So there's flashlight on and flashlight off. There's screen brightness. There's volume settings. But what I use it for probably most often is the Wi-Fi. So if you want to just turn Wi-Fi off, you just tap it. But if you want to both turn Wi-Fi on and select the network that you want, you touch and hold. And that brings you to your main Wi-Fi settings. You turn it on, and now you see your choices of the networks that you can use. So that is, and you can add more things to quick settings. I mean, I really like this one for scanning QR codes. Yes, my camera can scan QR codes, but this QR code scanner, oh no, that's the screenshot. That one's the screenshot. I added that. The QR code scanner is also here, scan QR codes, and that one is just more solid than using the camera. I think it works better. So that is quick settings on the Android Samsung. Now, on the iPhone, and so how do you get to quick settings? Swipe down from the top right, and here are my iPhone's quick settings. There's airplane mode, there's the auto rotate, there's your screen brightness, and there's your flashlight. Make sure you know how to turn, and there are other ways to turn your flashlight on, but that one will always work. And you can add other quick settings to this. If you go into your main system settings, there's an option for your quick settings, or this is called Control Center in iPhone parlance. And you can add or subtract things from here. So that is quick settings. All right, and just about done. Actually, Reboot or force quit. There are a couple of videos here, but we're not going to play them now. I just want to show you real quick. On the Android, you can reboot, meaning turn off and back on, by holding down the power and the volume. And it doesn't matter whether you're holding down on the volume up. No, on the Android, I'm sorry, all you do is hold down on the power button. And it will, depending on your settings. Okay, so my settings have changed. I now have to hold down on the power button and one of the volume buttons, and then that will bring up my choices to power off or to restart. So restart is normally what you want to do. That's the equivalent of reboot. But sometimes it's just one app that needs rebooting. We call that a force quit. You see the apps that are recently open by tapping on the multitasking button, these 3 lines. And let's say that it is Gmail is non-response. There's something wrong when you go to Gmail. Well, swipe it off from here. Then when you go back to Gmail, you're forcing it to start from the beginning. You're forcing it to restart. So you can restart your whole phone, or you can just restart apps. Oh, and there's one more way. If you go to your quick settings, this one right here, the one that looks like a power button icon, tap on that and you get the restart as well. I forget about that one, but I really do like it better. And on the iPhone, same things. You can hold down the power button and either the volume down or volume up, but you don't get an option to restart. You have to power it off and then hold down on the power to power it back on again. Or just like the Android, there is a soft button that will do that as well. Quick settings, swipe down from the top right, and there's the little power button. Tap that, and you can power off. And to restart just a particular app, the only key is you need to know how to get to your multitasking screen, and that is swiping up from the bottom and then letting go mid-screen. Now you have all your apps and you can swipe one off that is misbehaving. You do not need to swipe them all off, contrary to popular belief. That's all I'll say about that. Okay. And we are done. That's restart, force quit.
Okay. Let's see. Mike Arnman just emailed 2 screen captures from my Google Messages app from long press and quick double taps on the text message. Okay.
Well, we'll take a look. No, it's okay. So here's his email. Which can we? So this one was you long pressed and it brought up the email. Oh, where was this? I mean, yes, if you're using WhatsApp, for example, I mean, different apps do have different ways of using the long press. I wonder if that's what it is. And yeah, you're in message, some kind of messaging, and they do have different uses for it. So and they try the 3 dots. The 3 dots might have a copy the message. They work with copying the whole message. And if that doesn't help, we can get together later, Mike. Okay. Any other?
Nope.
Okay. Then we have some questions for you.
As usual. Okay. Did you learn something? I think you knew it all. True or false? If you can learn the steps to perform a task, that's all you need.
No, the steps will change. Please understand, you don't like this copy and paste thing. I know that copy is there somewhere. So just, you got to keep hunting. The concepts is what you need.
Okay. Things like screen brightness and rotation control are available as quick settings. And how do you see those quick settings on the Apple?
Swipe down from the top right.
And on the Android?
Swipe down from the top right. Now, if you have an older Apple iPhone, you might have to swipe up from the bottom. That's the way it used to be.
Right. And so, yeah. Many tech companies offer cloud-based storage services. Match the company with a service name. So for Apple?
Apple is C, iCloud.
Microsoft?
B, OneDrive.
Google?
D, Google Photos. Or technically, it's Google One, which includes Photos, Drive, Mail, and
All
some
that
other
stuff.
things. Yeah.
And Verizon.
Verizon just calls it cloud.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. If your screen is going dark too fast, as yours does often, look for a setting under A, display, B, battery, or C, connections.
A, display, but it definitely affects your battery.
Where can you find all the episodes of these button shows?
geeksontour.com, and it's under the menu item called YouTube Shows. All 307 of them have a link in that archive page. Check it out.
Okay. Donna says, I purchased a converter to use HDMI and lightning wires to show movies from the iPad to the TV, but got a pop-up listing apps or channels it will not work with. What brand converter do you use? We just use a cable. It's not a real converter. It's
Well, they
and it
for
is
lightning. She just has an HDMI converter.
Yes.
Adapter.
Okay. Mine is from Apple, so it works better. That's sometimes an issue. If you get a third-party adapter or converter, it may not work properly. So if you go to the Apple Store, you'll get something that will almost always function properly.
But it also may not be. It may be the service that just doesn't allow you to do that.
And yeah.
I mean, one of them.
But I don't get a
Prime
message.
Video or. Yeah, I have not seen that message.
Not on our, yeah. And Lightning is old technology as well, so all of the new stuff is on USB-C. And not all USB-C devices are created equal. It's something to know. All right, Judy says, learn the bottom 3-dot on search to sort, clean up pages, settings. Yeah, the 3-dot menu is always worth checking out because it does some different stuff in different places. Okay, well, thank you for our premium members. You make our work possible. You can become a premium member. There are a lot of advantages, and we have some special stuff that goes on. You can go to geeksontour.com/join now and check it out. Our Backstage Pass is one of the benefits of premium membership. It's an online meeting using Zoom. It's after this show, probably at the top of the hour. I might get started a little bit early or a minute late. You never can tell, but check it out. You get the link from the email that Chris sent us out yesterday and today, or you can go to the geeksontour.com website and go to the member login menu item and look for that icon. Click on that and you'll get to the Zoom. All right. Doug uses Screen Mirror to show things from the phone on TV, and that may or may not work depending on your TV and your device. There's a thing called Miracast, and sometimes you need a dongle, but a lot of the new smart TVs have it built in so that you can do some sharing and mirroring. I do that occasionally on the TVs that we have here.
And depending on exactly how you do it, it might be using internet. It might be using data, which is what we are trying to avoid by cabling between the device and the
right.
TV.
If you have a cable, you're not using any of your data. So Donna says the adapter was not Apple, and yeah, thank you.
Well, if you get an Apple one, and let us know if that solves it. I would
now,
be curious.
they are more expensive, mind you. So, yeah. Jay says it was a great show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So sign up for our free newsletters at geeksontour.com/news, and then you'll get notified, or an email or something like that tells you what we're up to. We just put out our monthly newsletter.
And there is some good stuff in there. If you haven't opened your Geeks on Tour newsletter,
check it out.
Do it now, yeah.
And our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps us out. And click on the bell to get notified. So, Chris, what's the webpage that lists all of our YouTube shows?
Geeksontour.com. The menu item is YouTube shows.
And the webpage that lists all of our recent newsletters.
Yeah, all our newsletters are archived just like the shows. It's under the blogs and news menu.
Okay. And why do people pay $58 a year to join Geeks on Tour?
We have lots of special benefits for our members, but some people also join just to say thank you for what we give for free.
Cool. Become a member, geeksontour.com/join now. Subscribe to our YouTube page. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour.
See you next time.
See you later. And be safe out there.